All right, howdy boyos, and welcome back to some more Squad. Again, today I am a guest of a SquadOps event. Instead of playing myself, I actually had a lot of fun spectating the Rotten Econog event, which I will link to in the description. Want to check out that one. That one was with a lot of vehicles. I think the Americans had like 5 or 6 MRAPs. The insurgents in that mission had a couple of vehicles themselves. In this one, it's not insurgents, it is Americans versus the Russians. And there's no vehicles except for the Americans have a couple of Logi trucks. Now, the quick rundown of this operation is going to be pretty simple. The Americans have to find a Russian FOB somewhere in Echo 3 on the map. The Russians can kind of just jerk around and wait. The second the Americans attack the Russians, the other Russians are clear to come in and defend the FOB. Obviously, it's a one life only event. I think last time people were kind of offended. I said it was a one life only event because it's always a one life only event. These guys are already eyes on the Americans. Hang on. Oh, that's awkward. That sucks. So they literally started 6 seconds ago, and there's already 3-4 guys down. So quickly run down though, the objective for the Russians is to kill all the Americans or to defend their FOB, and the objective for the Americans is to kill the FOB and then extract or to kill all the Russians. Now, I think this will be a very interesting operation to spectate because it's going to be very much a lot more CQB with some high-rise building combat. Instead of going into a more maybe cinematic view. Let me turn this on for a second. No, not that one. This one. Instead of going for this, which I know it does really look nicer, it's going to be really hard for me to spectate the combat as much as I want to. I do really intend to like watch a lot more of these and spectate a lot of them because you guys really seemed to enjoy it last time. And to be honest with you, it is really a lot of fun to watch these games because these people are a lot better at Squad than I'll probably ever be. And I don't know, I really like Squad. It looks really good. And it goddamn sounds really good. I just wish that maybe I was a little bit better at it. Maybe I'll at some point sign up to actually be able to become a player in one of these operations. But for now, I'm perfectly fine just spectating them. With that being said, I'm gonna turn these things back on just so I actually know what's going on. I'll turn the interface, the like stencils around these guys like this. I'll turn it off because that kind of looks stupid. But other than that, I think this is a very good way of viewing this. So we have the Americans who are already heavily engaged. I mean, they just took an RP freaking G into their face. This guy with a law, though, is ready. Let's turn on the depth of field here for a second. This might look good.
Hey, which window was it? Just cover the left side, I'll cover the right for now.
I mean, they're in that building somewhere, obviously, but we got 249 and a guy with a law. 249 seems to be moving up. There's a squad leader on that corner. They're going to go inside this building. This might become very, very bloody for the Americans. Obviously, they'll have to push the stairs. They are coming in. 249 suppressing the... there was an RPK up there. So we'll turn this on again. They are on the 3rd floor. Actually, wait, for America, this is the 1st floor is the ground floor, correct? So this will be the 2nd. They are, I don't know if these buildings are connected amongst themselves. It doesn't look like they're connected. So they're probably clearing the wrong building right now. There is still an RPG, a regular AK, and a RPK guy somewhere over here. I don't know where this guy just went. He went over here. This is the RPK guy, I'm pretty sure. But there's other units around here. I think the objective for the Americans is going to be right inside of this basement down here. The objective, like I said, is to find, I know what I went there, is to find the Russian FOB, destroy it, and then extract. Also, the Americans, let's take a look at those guys, have set up a FOB at the extract location all the way over here. And their job is to, for now, hold their position. I was listening to the briefing earlier. So hold the position. And they're also setting up a FOB to set up mortars. Let's turn off the depth of field here again. There should be setting up mortars around here somewhere. Here we go. Setting up mortars and 50 cals to defend this area because this is going to be the extract zone. Now, I don't really know what the rule is on this, but I'm assuming that this is a no-go area for the Russians as long as the fob isn't destroyed, but I can only assume that because they're setting up 50 cals, that this is going to be a zone the Russians will have to go to try and finish off the Americans. I'm assuming the Russians will have a certain amount of time, let's say 10 or 15 minutes, to kill off all the Americans at the extraction zone before they actually get extracted. Now we have a whole squad of Russians moving in towards the fob, and these Russians in this building are still very much keeping a whole squad of Americans at bay. And an RPG was just brutal, taking out those guys on the street there. Like, that would suck so much. This has been about an hour of setup for these guys and listening and the rules. And it's good. It's good that they repeat the rules every single time. Don't get me wrong. Oh, we might see a kill here. Does he see him? Oh, no. He didn't see him. Hang on.
Okay, you can rotate if you want to use bandage.
The 249 versus an RPK, but this guy might get shot from the street. I don't know if he had eyes on. Let's see if any of the Americans actually died from that. Oh, that's bad. That's one guy down. It looks like it's 249. The law hit the window, didn't actually go through, and that's pretty danger close for guys right below. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't really get fucked up from that, but that would be scary. 249 probably doesn't feel like pushing, seeing two of his friends are dead on the stairs. Trying to go up the stairs here without going through. Okay, so this guy is holding the stairs very smartly. Like I said, some of these guys have been waiting for this to start around 3:30. Right now it's 4:30. So about 10 minutes ago, well, not even 10 minutes ago, they died. And they sat in the game for a long time, you know, waiting a briefing and the rules. And then they just got wrecked by a guy with an RPG, which is understandable, but it still would really suck to be those guys, which is a good thing why I'm spectating. Although, if you die in one of these ops, you are allowed to join a spectator slot and basically just look around. So this guy, the Russian, is right upstairs. It's a squad leader. The Russian's is up here, I think. Yeah, that's very mean. Obviously, the Russians, not in any rush to do any clearing of themselves. I mean, why would they? It's not their job. The Americans do have eyes on the fob, or at least have eyes on contacts in this fob. We have one Russian trying to peek it here. I think they have outlawed DMRs and stuff for this game. Usually, every SquadOps comes with a certain rule set at the start of the operation. And, every SquadOps comes with a couple of rules, and it will detail the vehicles and the weapons that are allowed to be used. And I think this one definitely said no DMRs. I'm trying to turn on and off the depth of field. When you turn it on, it takes a little bit of a... I'll turn it on right now. You'll see it takes a little bit of a timer to get to the correct setting. But I think it does look really nice. This guy is a GP25. There is an American behind that wall right over there. If we turn... Ooh, you can see the bullet impacts. This game does look really nice still. So there's another rule, which I think I mentioned last time, but if you haven't watched that video... Oh, mortar's being called into the objective here. It actually looked really cool. Their Logi truck is on fire. Didn't really do any damage to anyone. Anyway, the rule is here, if you go down, as in you are revivable by squad standards, you die. They don't want people that are downed to be revived. If you lose health by being shot, but you don't actually go down, you're allowed to be healed by a medic, as in bandaged, but you're not allowed to be resuscitated or revived, depending on how you want to call that. So right now, the Russians, it took some mortar fire. I think the guys down here are perfectly fine. I mean, they're in this kind of basement area. This guy even got a sandbag over here. All this guy's gonna do is watch this door. There's only two ways inside. There's the open area over here. I'm surprised no one's in this container, by the way. And then there is the other area over here, which is where the stairs is. And this is going to be really bloody, almost like a D-Day style assault. I think, though, in the meantime, an American squad over here is getting really close to finding out. Oh, God. Oh, that was a frag. Where did that go, though? Seems like it didn't really go much anywhere. The Russians are still holding this flat. Like, they're not in any sort of rush There's a whole squad coming in to reinforce this squad. It's basically been locked down, which means there's a whole squad behind the Americans. The Americans are on the wall back there, knowing that there's a Russian or two in this flat, but obviously they're probably not aware that there's a half a squad of Russians over here about to flank them hard. They're setting up their RPK gunner. Two questions: does he have eyes on from here? It's kind of hard to see. What if I turn these names off? You can barely see them. Also, all the other names in the sky are all people who are dead and spectating. I mean, there's a small amount of them that are people like me who are like allowed to spectate from the start, but a majority of those people will be people who have died and are now spectating. Now, he's obviously trying to get eyes on those Americans down the road. I don't think there's any more Americans in the building. Oh, sorry, there's no more Americans other than inside the building. And the Russians in this building are still perfectly fine with their position. In the meantime, these guys are about to get flanked. They have no clue where from. They're on the wrong side of the wall. However, if they try and go over the wall, they're going to get screwed as well. So these guys are now in a pincer between those two Russian squads. The one being at the fob, and the other one basically being right behind them. I think this guy was hit. That's why his thing is orange-yellow. And he is trying to bandage right now. He's also a medic, so that's a good thing for him, I guess. That he got hit as a medic. There we go. He's now full health again. There is, however, the Russians in here mowed down basically an entire squad worth of Americans. Because there's only, actually, they're mowed down. There's only one more American left, if I see it correctly. Yeah, there's only one more American left in this building. And they killed, and he just got killed. So the Americans just got wrecked in this building. There's no one left in there. The Russians are now flanking this American squad. Mortars are raining down heavily around the FOB. There's mortars raining down behind them, FOB, near the FOB. One of the Russians, actually very low health. He's red as balls. I don't know where he just went. He was over here somewhere. Unless he just died. I don't think so, though. Maybe a lucky mortar got a hit on one of these guys. One of the Russians over here is lower health. Mortars coming in do look amazing. Americans, though, still have... Oh, there's a whole squad of Russians over here I never saw, even, with a lot of CQB fighting going on. They have the They have a large part of this construction building on lockdown. 203 squad leader, 203 guys trying to peek. He just peeked with a 203. Maybe not the most successful idea, but he did. There was a dead Russian over here. Well, at least there is a dead Russian. There is. There's also a lot more dead Russians over here. So the Americans had a lot more success on this side than they had on the other side of the area so far. Now the Russians obviously having to deal with the same thing as the Americans, which is you know, buildings filled with Americans. Now there's less Americans in this building than I think they would like there to be, but so far they're all good. There's a whole squad still. They haven't asked the people at the mortars to like come in and support yet, which is a surprise to me. Because so far, the Americans seem to be getting wrecked. The Russians pushed over here, have pushed out the Americans from the rear of the Russian FOB, with there only being 2 live Americans as far as I can see, being one in a container and one... Ooh, God. One in a container and one right there on that wall. The guy... Oh! Ah, unlucky. At least he tried to make it inside. So at least one American saw the objective. But I don't know if he really saw it or if he just got wrecked there. So there's one American left. I'm pretty sure they know exactly where he is. And he's gonna get peeked, and he is hit. Hit again. He's somehow not dead, but there's... Oh, he's so dead. He's so dead. How is he not dead? How is he not dead? There's like 4 Russians right there at that car. Is this guy Rambo? What is he doing? Did he kill all of them? Oh my God. Oh, that was insane. He killed 3 of these... I think he killed 3 of these Russians over here by himself. Very valuable last stand. I mean, like I said, every person they take down is one guy less the Americans have to deal with later. So the Russians did push out an entire squad and a half away from that. I'm trying to do it with my hands. Obviously, you can't see my hands. They pushed out almost a squad and a half away from that building alone, and then the parking lot over here. So the mortar team has left the fob and has moved over to, I think this is the mortar squad. They have moved over and are now also basically committed to attack. This is their truck over there. They have to attack because most of the other Americans are dead. I think the Russians do have the upper hand. They have these, this is a pretty rough mission for the Americans though. The Russians have this apartment building on lockdown and the one next to it, which are both sort of, well, this one isn't really overlooking the FOB, but this one definitely is. And it's going to be really hard to get rid of these Russians out of these buildings. I kind of feel bad for the Americans, honestly. They're watching every place. RPG is ready. That's a PK, or sorry, RPK, I think. No, it's an AK. Seem to find that's another RP. No, that is a RPK, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, it's an RPK. There's a couple of guys on low health, but they mostly push those guys out. Over here now, there's a firefight going on. The Americans are still alive here. They got guys inside buildings. Guys, this guy should still be alive. So far, they are... Oh, this might be a push. This guy here, is he dead? Nope, he's not dead. I mean, there's a couple Americans alive over here, but unless they push out these Russians, the Russians are... And then the Russians don't need to be pushed out. The Americans, all the Russians have to do is just hold the Americans down. And there's not much they can do. There's a guy behind this stone wall. There's one over there. There is, let's see how many there are alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically a squad. Russians are at only 4 people, but like I said, they have the entrenched position. And they do have... It's an RPK or an SL? Maybe not so much any heavy weapons, whereas I think one of these guys had a 249 if I saw it correct, but I mean, they're stuck here. This guy can go in, but he has to watch every single corner. There's at least one guy, 2 guys on the ground floor. There's a guy on the second floor. Actually, you can kind of see where this guy's going to be hiding, which kind of might kill him, but let's see if this guy's going to go in or not. There's a Russian, like, right there. Does the Russian hear him? Does the American know there's a Russian in there? Thing is, he can peek it, but there's a Russian peeking it both ways. So, the second he comes right in this corner, he has to look both ways to make sure that Russian doesn't see him. And then the second he starts firing, this Russian's also peeking. Oh, it might happen. This guy might see the barrel. Damn, he saw that barrel and lit him the fuck up. Well, that guy's dead. The Russians now know that there's a guy in this building, or in front of the building. Sure, this guy isn't excited to peek anymore now after that just happened to his friend. Let's go up to 800 speed. In the meantime, let's take a look what's going on with the Americans. They have... Oh, the Americans did a smart thing. Instead of going by themselves and kind of fucking everyone else, they now finally realize that it's smarter to stick with your friendlies. So now, as you can see, they reinforce their friendlies and kind of I'll try to link up with them. In the meantime, the Russians here, I need to turn on these things. Wow, get executed, my dude.
You good? You good?
Well, they killed that guy off. Now the stairs, it's being covered by 2 guys. One of them is throwing a frag or smoke. No, it's a frag.
Yep.
Now they know that there's they know there's Russians upstairs. How are you going to get rid of the 2 guys watching the stairs from 2 different sides? Oh wait, did this peek front door? Oh, they did. Oh, that's there. He's definitely not happy about that one. They know there's still Russians in the building. The Russians, however, are perfectly fine with just staying on the objective and not really moving from them. How many guys are still alive for the Russians? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like 21, 22, 23, basically. This is a lot. And then if we go to the Americans, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Russians are definitely at an advantage in this. They're definitely not really looking for anyone to get killed for no reason, but I mean the Russians can afford to lose a couple of guys, whereas the Russians are obviously not really in that same position, or the Americans aren't really in the same position people-wise. So they just killed another American down there. There's 2 Russians on here. That's the only ones I know of, though. So one is basically. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, no, never mind. Never mind. All right. Well, good luck with this.
I got frags. I still have mates. Yeah, they're still there.
249. There's an RPK guy laying down, though. RPK guy laying down. So 1 American died for 1 Russian. The thing is, the Russians can afford to take these losses, and they don't care because they have way more people. The Americans, though, losing one-on-one is really bad. The amount of frags being thrown is totally fine, but this guy is hiding here, and he's not really. He's hiding in a super memey spot too, where he just has to hold a stupid corner. Americans are pushing in. This guy might find the Russian here soon. I don't think they can hear each other, though. We're about to see what happens. He's watching this very intently. Let's see his point of view here. Oh, he sees a barrel! All he had to do was see the barrel come in, and he was dead. There was no question about it. That's a really rough way. Now, there's still 3 Americans up here. And they have 2 249s, so they're in good shape. 3 249s. The thing is, this guy probably isn't really. He's not gonna push. They're gonna see his dead body, realize where he is, and probably frag him if they still have frags left. If they don't, they're screwed. Let's see what happens here.
He died right there. He died right there. There's his dead body.
That's so stupid. Okay.
I got him, but squad lead's down.
Squad lead is down. They did lose another guy there. That wasn't maybe the smartest play ever, but at least they got rid of the guys in the apartment. So now if we spectate everyone, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Americans left, if my calculations are correct. And there's already more Russians in that apartment building over there than the Americans have in their entire team. There's 9 there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there's 19 Russians, 7-ish Americans, and the Russians are entrenched and definitely not people who need to be pushing anytime soon. Interested to see how the Americans will tackle this. Ooh, getting hit. I honestly don't really give the Americans a big shot here at winning this particular round, considering the Russians are set up all around in like almost a U shape, watching their location. They are rotating out there for some reason. Alright, I should turn the thing off. Is this guy gonna see them? He might see them if he looks. An American just went down. Oh, RPG coming in. That was very close. He might shoot another one though, because he probably doesn't really care. I mean, the thing is, you're better off shooting your RPGs than dying with RPGs left in your pouch, right? Is that an RPG coming out? It might be. Sorry, I keep pressing the F button, not realizing that much. There's 3 guys. So this is the RPG guy, I think. At least you can see he has the backpack. I don't know if he's actually gonna fire his RPG anymore. Maybe that was his last round. He actually got really close to them though. Thing is, the Russians don't really have sights, which sucks for them. The Americans do have some sights. For at least they're 249s. They have even if it's a red dot sight, it's better than nothing. See the names on again. Americans are actually down to 6 people, I think. 2 here. 4 there.
You getting shot from that direction?
I don't know, I think from north, 15.
They're in the buildings.
They're so dead. This guy bit. Oh, there goes his friend. That's the only thing you could say. Shit. So 5 Americans left. It's turning into quite a bloodbath. You can see the Russian silhouettes right over there. This might be really bad for this guy. There's like 3 guys aggressively peeking this. If he is so dead. He doesn't know yet though. And second he peeks. No, I don't think he really peeked it that much. They didn't really know. He's running. Probably trying to meet up with his other squad mates or other teammates. So we have 5 Americans left. Russians are totally fine just hiding where they are. Oh, this guy is getting very lucky there. Got shot near or at him, but it's not dead. Actually, there's 6. No, there's 3. Yeah, 4, 5 Americans left. Don't know where they're going. They are going far from where they should be going. Their objective is still over there. It's the like sandwalker. Is that what you guys call that in English? Like the thing where like sand dribbles through. They still have guys watching that. That must be a really horrible job. I mean, this guy fired a magazine at maybe one guy. Oh my god, it's so mean. Especially with the barbed wire too. That's like disgusting. That's gonna be really. That was really hard to begin with for them to get rid of. Then let's turn the highlights on. They're probably trying to figure out what to do. There's 5 of them. Let's see, they have 2 M4s and a 249. They have another M4. Those red dot sights look really big. Is that just me? Weird. And then there's another 249. So they got some heavier weapons. I mean, the 249 definitely isn't a bad gun, but I feel like these guys are just going to not do anything. They obviously regrouped somewhere further away from combat. They might try to rotate around, or maybe they'll all kill themselves with a single grenade. I have no clue what they're going to do, but there's not much they can do anymore. Considering they're definitely not going to win this anymore. For some reason, they're still falling back further away. Not really sure what this is. Maybe they're going to try and go all the way around. Because the Russians will be thinking that they're obviously trying to do like one final push. In the meantime, these guys are all... I mean, you can take a look and see where they would be going. Let's see. Let's say they go around this wall over here through this factory complex past its stupid annoying church. But over here, yeah, obviously it'd be a nice way inside, but you'd have to then kill these 2 guys in here, which we already said are super locked down. Like, there's an RPK who's not going to let that go. I mean, he has a long area of approach too, which is actually kind of mean. You can see people coming down for a while, unless they peek the area around here where his corner is, and then he would still have a good shot at them. And like I said, this guy is being in a very, very annoying position for someone to attack. Americans do seem to be doing what I was saying. They're going to go around. And hopefully for them, the Russians won't spot them. Let's see over here if these guys have eyes on. I'm assuming one of them might be looking out towards this area. Let's turn us to here. So we have eyes on them from here because we know where they are. Obviously, they're not looking out there. So I mean, if this works for the Americans, it could be an interesting final push. I'm not saying that the Americans will actually win, but it might prove to be interesting. Oh, I forgot there's Russians in this building next to the objective as well. And this guy is got an RPG backpack. He's looking down this area. Doesn't have a large amount of viewage, but he still has eyes on. We got multiple Russians pushing towards the same apartment complex. I think FX-1000, which actually one of the original defenders of Fortress, whatever you want to call this, Fortress Skyline, Fortress whatever. I mean, a lot of people gave their lives in the defense and the attack of this building, and now they're back in it. And all he has to do is just set up and have got eyes on, which is going to get pretty soon here. Considering, yeah, he has eyes on that guy running right now. And now, all he has to do is wait for one guy to not pay attention. He knows they're there. He knows they're here. It's probably telling his... thing is, I'm on the American team, and the spectators cannot hear what the other team are saying. So I'm pretty sure this guy's probably on radio talking to his squad leader right now. He knows where they're going. He had eyes on that guy running over there. If he's smart, he doesn't fire. He doesn't fire. He waits. He waits till they're out in the open. A place where he can ambush them, maybe heavier. Everyone is huddled around. Everyone is huddled around this one Russian, knowing exactly what's going to happen. Probably trying to rush downstairs, get into one of the windows on this side of the building. I know this side has... No, actually, it does have a single window up here. Oh, he's running outside. Are they going to spot him? They're not. Yep, he's doing... They're going upstairs. One of the Russians spotted the Americans, and I think this guy couldn't really stop himself from shooting. He got too excited. But that's a long range with out of sight to maybe hit something accurately. Now, however, the machine gunner... Oh, smoke. Smoke's being thrown. And they do still have two heavy suppressive weapons. They do have the 249. Is this a thing I can go into, or is this like an empty... Oh, that would have been cool, I guess, if I could go in here. They do have the 249. And they have... so they have two 249s, and they still have a lot of smoke, apparently. So that's two smokes right there. The question is, are they going to try and push this across? .249. He's running. He made it across. Let's look where it is. Is this guy in the window? Yes, I think that's him, isn't it? That's the guy with the RPK. The guy who originally killed so many Americans. Now, all he has to do is just sit there and wait. I don't know if this will make it look nicer. Not really. All he has to do, there's only two ways out of that belt. And okay, there's three ways. It's to the left or to the right or backwards. Backwards might not be the best option for the Americans because they're already getting wrecked. And right now, if we take a look at the player stencils, we can see the Americans again bled out their numbers by losing another guy, having only 4 left. Probably losing, oh, one guy dying over here. So now the Russians are mostly aware of their whereabouts, and this shouldn't be too long of a fight, considering, I mean, they're probably not a bad place, but I mean, the Russians have like 5-6 times their number. They still have a medic. Oh no, this guy. No, never mind. This is regular. No, this guy's a medic, isn't he? Yeah, he's a medic. He's got the medic. He's got the morphine. I can't see. Oh, stop moving. Stop moving! Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see his medical thing on his backpack. This guy is also a medic. No, that's a 249. So they still have 2 249s and a single medic. The medic being nice that he has a lot of bandages. Ooh, they're taking fire from a guy in the window. One of the Americans got hit. One guy got downed. Run, run, run. No, you're being shot from the... Oh, God, I don't know where it's coming from. This is bad.
We lost our medic.
And that's bad because their medic died. And being out of a medic at this point... Obviously, the medic can't heal you, but the medic, as in, like, revive you, but the medic can still heal you, but give you bandages. That was a very nicely lobbed 203, I think. Landed just on the wrong side of that fence. I really doubt that was an RPG because that would have been louder. Americans are, at least you got to give it to them. They're still trying. They're still very much trying, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything here. This was settled very quickly at the start of this game when the Russians were able to tie down a squad and a half with 4 or 5 guys in the building. You can't blame them for that. Obviously, that was a very bloody battle, but then the Russians flanked the Americans, and it was pretty much a game over. And then the Americans lost a lot of people in the other apartment building fights, which is understandable. I mean, you have 4, 5, 6 floors. You have to check every floor, every room, and every room can have a guy with a gun in it. And as you saw in the apartment building around that little sort of circular area, I mean, they send one guy in, he dies, and then the second guy goes in and he just also dies because the guy also just has to wait for a gun to come around the corner and he can pre-fire it, and the Americans don't know where he was hiding. So far, the Americans made a very big trip around the map. This squad was somewhere near Bravo, if I don't... let's see where we are. Yeah, so this American squad was right here at Bravo. They rotated the entire way around just to be right here at basically a Bravo. I mean, they did 75-80% of this circle, which is actually pretty funny.
We're just gonna keep moving, pushing west from here.
Now, I think there we go. I think though that the Americans have no clue how many Russians are left. Maybe it's 8. Maybe it's 5. I do think that they have an idea that it's definitely not less than 10, or not less than 10, but I mean 3v10, yeah, you could probably win that, but you're not going to win this 3v20 where people are ready. There's also a guy in his window. Let's spectate his perspective. All this guy has to do is wait. I think he just saw him. Did he? Someone just fired. That was a 2 or 3 being launched. Americans just got hit by that for sure. 2 or 3 incoming. Oh my god, how did he survive that? Holy shit, there goes another American. There's only 2 Americans left alive. Starting to look very bad for them. That 203 was like right on target too. That guy got really lucky that that window, or that door frame exists. Oh my god. So this guy is basically screwed. He is in the open, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go. And the admin's saying he has to go forward. There's 2 249s left, which is good firepower, especially considering they have a red dot sight and they have a lot of bullets compared to an AK. But with 2 of these guys left, it's... Oh, that was a hit. He has the bandage.
I'm out of bandages.
He's also he has no bandages left. He's gonna run towards friendlies. Fire is coming in. This guy's gonna bleed out unless his friend has a bandage, which I doubt he has. He's laying prone.
Need a bandage, please? No bandage. Fuck.
The 249 guy's dead. He's gonna bleed out.
My life, I'm like bleeding fast.
So here we go. They're charging. Oh, there goes one. Charge! American charge! He's gonna make... Oh, no. Oh, well. Alright, well, that was a very interesting game. Very different from the... Wow, I love... Oh my god, that's awesome. That was very different from the last game that I spectated, where the Americans took a very long time to engage, and the engagements were very limited, where there was a couple of guys here, a couple of guys there. I'm pretty interested in obviously playing some of this myself. Again, I'm really waiting for V10 to come out, though. But when V10 comes out, I'll definitely be there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Cheers!